When I think back over the years, you know, I never envisioned myself as a leader or in this sort of a role that I've had in my life. You know, I had friends that were artists and friends that were musicians and friends that were in different fields, and you know, everybody was really good at one thing. And I wasn't really great, I didn't think at anything. I was just kind of okay at a lot of things. And I went through this whole smorgasbord of college education. If there was any way to look at, you know, trying everything in a liberal arts education, that's probably was me. And I was 19, and they were having this survival symposium at school. And they were talking about, you know, the impact that we have on the world and our connectedness to each other. And there was something about that just really resonated with me. And it was at that point, I think I realized that what I wanted to do in life was to make a difference, to really help make the world a better place. Charlie! Hey, Charlie! Are you around? Are you ignoring me? Did you find me those bowls that I need to do for the consulting?
No. How many do you need?
I need some, I need about 15 or 20.
What?
Yes.
They're not out there. Yeah, I know what difference they are. I know exactly where everything is. What really gets me is when she thinks that she comes out here to reorganize, then she puts them in crates and stuff that it doesn't tell me about it. Then I have to go around looking for whatever she's sending me out here for. They weren't in a box. Oh, I want more.
You always hear this thing where marriages can be made in heaven. I think in this case here, I probably knew Marcia before I actually physically met her. Because when we actually did meet, it was like a whirlwind.
A friend of mine said, you know, come go to this party, you know, we've got going on. I'm like, I don't feel like a party. And she goes, no, you gotta come to this party.
When I walked through the door, if you can imagine a black and white picture, everyone was in black and white except her.
Immediately my eyes like rest on this guy, and I'm going, this is weird. And I turned to my friend and I said, this is the strangest feeling, but I think that's the guy I'm gonna marry.
So we met. 3 weeks later, we were engaged, and gosh, in less than 6 months, we were married. It's a situation where every part of that felt right.
I knew that this is the person that I was going to spend my life with. This is the person that was my soulmate. I would not be who I am without Charlie. I really wouldn't. I think because he is such a believer in me. On days when I really don't feel real good about what's going on, or I feel like things haven't gone right, when I doubt that what I'm doing really matters, he's the one who always brings it back, and he reminds me how special what I do is, and how good I am. And he really encourages me to be that person, to give everything that I can give to what I do. When I got out of school, Charlie went back to school, and suddenly I was the breadwinner. And I suddenly found out I was pregnant, and I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do now? So all of these plans were like totally thrown out the door, and so we had to figure out, well, how are we gonna do this? So, you know, here I was doing all these different things, knowing that what I wanted to do was to make a difference in the world, to be able to help people make the world a better place. I never thought that Tupperware was going to be the means to be able to do that, because it was just so outside anything that I'd ever really thought about doing. But I also was kind of like at that point where I needed some outside interest and some, you know, activities to do with ladies. And I heard someone talking about they were having this Tupperware party. And so I went to this Tupperware party and carried my son with me, because I didn't realize you weren't supposed to really bring kids with you all the time, my little baby, you know. And so there I am at this Tupperware party. And the Tupperware lady is just like crazy and wild and kind of off the wall. And I thought she was hilarious. I was laughing, I was having the best time. And the next thing I knew, I walked out of there carrying a party planning packet and I was having a party. And as she's talking to me about, the party, she says, and we could use your party to get you started in your Tupperware business. What? Are you nuts? I wouldn't be caught dead selling Tupperware. Little old ladies in polyester pantsuits sold Tupperware, not me.
When she first started Tupperware, she couldn't talk in front of people. She was so shy. And there was a time period where she had no parties in her book whatsoever. I happened to notice a young lady across the street from where we were living, and I asked her, why don't you ask her to have a Tupperware party? And she goes, I cannot do that. Why don't you do that? And I said, okay. So I went across the street. I told her that my wife had just joined Tupperware, that it would be a great benefit for her. Would she have a Tupperware party for my wife? And she said, without any hesitation whatsoever, yes, I would.
And that was it. I mean, it was from that point on. When I first started, I really, I didn't know what the company was. I mean, to me, it was these plastic bowls. That's what I thought Tupperware was. But what I discovered is that there's a whole nother side to Tupperware that is so much more than just the product. And I think that that's the part that really caught my heart. Here it was the early 80s, the end of the 70s, and we'd gone through women's lib and all of this, but yet still it was a very hard place, I think, for a lot of women to find a place to fit in and to build something. And here was a company that celebrated women.
Well, when we became distributors in the early 90s, we came into a situation where it was a great opportunity for us. I think she felt really good about herself, which is, I thought, was really wonderful, because if Mama's happy, then I'm happy.
A typical day? I don't really think there is a typical day, because there's so much going on. Every day is a little bit different. And so it's that inch by inch, we're gonna make a big difference with folks. Proper planning to me means you know what your intention is, you know what your goal is, and you're doing it for the purpose of helping other people. Like they always say, it's not the steak, it's the sizzle, and I think a lot of it's the presentation. Just, taking that little extra time to wrap something up, put some little curly ribbon on it. I like to, I always joke that curly ribbon's like catnip for ladies. So, when you put that little bit of extra stuff on it, it makes people feel really special.
Okay, we don't have any yellow, but I think there's green, blue, and purple in this one, so that worked.
Good deal. That's perfect. When I was first in Tupperware, as a manager, of course, Charlie wasn't really involved in the business at all. We didn't think we could work together. We really thought that we'd probably kill each other if we tried to work together for very long.
That one's ready to go out? I'm not ready to bring that out yet because I don't want it in the way.
I see my position as a complement to her. I see her as the figurehead. I have to make sure that she stands out.
When it's Riley, it's his job to get everything loaded, get everything there, to get everything ready, because Riley's got to be a certain way. Off we go. The things I get nervous about are that things don't go according to my plan, because that's when I get a little annoyed. And I want everything to flow right. But getting up and talking doesn't bother me a bit with it, because I believe in what we're talking about, and I believe in everything that I'm doing, so I don't have to think about it.
One of my most major goals that I found, and I take very high pride in, is making sure that I have everything in place so that an event runs properly.
I want it to be just like this. Once we get there, it's got to go this way, and when it doesn't, then it's like, I get frazzled, So sometimes at Rally, it's like, okay, I'm up here and I'm doing this, and there's supposed to be this thing sitting right here beside me, and it's not there. So Charlie, where is it?
I get a directive to be here when I should be over there, when I should be over here.
And so Charlie runs back there. In the meantime, while he's running to get that one, I realize that, well, this thing over here is supposed to happen, and I'm like, Charlie!
And I can only be in one place at one time. However, some people want me to be in 3 places at one time. And I find that very frustrating.
But that's sort of what it is, If it takes personality, it's my job, and if it doesn't, it's Charlie's job. Just recently, we had a prize patrol, and this is something we like to do, especially during a big month, to really focus on a particular day. Invariably on prize patrol day, there'll be 1 or 2 parties that I'll actually pick to show up at. Our consultant You know, she's already told me that she really wants to be a manager. If we can get her some recruits tonight, that would be awesome.
Wonderful, yes.
Okay, you ready?
Ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
Hello there! Surprise! What makes me excited is how it all comes together. It's, once again, it's that puzzle, you know, of just all the pieces fitting together and being able to go forward. What makes me happy is seeing them succeed.
That was a lot of fun.
That was great.
Wonderful. I can't wait. Good job.
Yay!
Boy, I like these type of treats. We had children when we started the business, and we had Corinne when we were in the business. I think it was very wonderful for them because they were able to participate on stage with us. They were able to go on trips with us. They were included in our business, which I think was a wonderful thing.
All the different trips that we've gotten to take, I think, was definitely something that's helped me grow. Whether we got to go to Hawaii because of Tupperware or anywhere in Europe, just all over the place.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, you know, my parents were there, so they were always there to love us and care for us. You know, even when they became distributors, my mom still worked from home a lot of the times. So it was nice to know that when we needed them, we knew we could count on them.
Of course, when you're a teenager growing up, you don't always like that so much. You're like, oh man, my parents are always around. But a couple years after that, you start realizing how important it was and how much it helped to develop you as a person. The support that they would give, you know, the children, myself and my sister.
Now, I will tell you this, that our daughter swore that she would never, ever be a Tupperware consultant.
The light hit when I went to Jubilee in 2000. Mom was #1 for the second year in a row in growth. And it was then like seeing how she appreciates everybody else. It just clicked to me that, God, this is an amazing business. At that moment, I realized that Tupperware allowed you to help people make their dreams reality. And I realized how much more fulfilling that could be as my purpose in life so that I could use my talents to the fullest.
Got it? Good job. Okay, here you go. Put this in. Push. Push. Apple juice. You like it? Me too. With grandchildren, it's like there's nothing you have to do except love them.
For me, having grandchildren, it allowed me to grow. Our grandchildren are just two lovely little girls that we just totally enjoy being around.
It's because it gets to take you back to that point in life where you can see the world through children's eyes. Of course, my daughter will say that the most important reason why I had her is for my grandbabies, and that's pretty good too, because I like to tell her that sometimes. That, you know, the reason I had you is so I could have grandbabies.
As we get older and we sit on the rocking chair looking about what we did in the past, we can say it was good.
Can't get your eyes open.
So early in the morning.
I know, but that's okay. I hope it doesn't rain on you.
I'm gonna hurt myself.
I'm not used to turning with the key.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. He gave you the key bag?
So, are you gonna hurt them in yoga today?
I'm gonna hurt them. No, I'm not gonna hurt them.
You gonna stretch them?
Yeah, it's summer, so I'm doing a solar flow.
Oh, that's really good. No sun out.
I know with no sun, so it'll be good. Hope it doesn't rain on you when you walk back.
Me too. You got everything?
Yeah, except no gum for my yoga
No
breath.
gum. Oh well.
No yoga breath. Oh, I hear music. Charlie, you make me hear music.
I know.
All right.
You ready?
Okay. Have a good walk.
Oh, thank you, babe.
Okay.
Have a good one.
See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye, hon.
You know, for me, what yoga is that place that I can practice what I'm going to do in life. When you come onto your mat, it forces you to let go of the chaos that's around you, the busyness of everyday life, and to find that stillness within you. In yoga, we talk a lot about being mindful. being present in the moment and really embracing what's going on with you right there in that moment. Being able to really appreciate right here, right now, what you have, and be really joyous in that moment. I have the best team of people. They're all so different. They all have strengths. They all have things that make it fun to be around them. What is my proudest moments is when we as an organization have achieved great things together. And it wasn't because of me, it was because of them, because of what they did, and because they realized how good they were.
Well, the first time I ever saw Marcia and Charlie was at a Jubilee. And they were the crazy people jumping up and down, going hip, hip, hooray. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? And my husband was with me and said, that's the team you need to be on.
When I go to rally and see them excited, or when we go to Jubilee and my ladies are up on the stage and they're being recognized, I mean, it's like, that's the biggest wow for me.
I really feel like Marcia and Charlie care more about our success than about what we can do for them.
They welcomed me like they had known me their whole life. And I immediately became the DIQ my first month in the business and became a director for my first 6 months. So I have got to be under their wings really from day one.
A consultant that comes into our Tupperware business, I want them to know that they do not walk alone, that they're going to get the training that they need, that they can be very successful if they choose to be.
Building that confidence, a lot of it has to do with being with this distributorship and being with Charlie and Marcia. They have been a huge asset in our lives and just been a part of everything that we do.
Even when I didn't like myself, they were there for me. They helped me through thick and thin, and I'm there to the end now. So Tupperware is my life, and it will be my life forever because of Mr. Charlie and Marcia.
What matters to me is being able to see people become what they're capable of becoming. To see them, just blossom and grow, and to realize I'm worthy, I am somebody, and I matter.
Our success depends on how well we react to an opportunity. And that opportunity could be that one person coming through the door. And this is the neat thing about this business. Whether it be one party, one recruit, one promote out, it can make all the difference in the way your business ends up.
When I'm having a day when it just feels like nothing I do is right, then I'll close my door and I go in my office and I have this little box. And in that box, I have little notes, letters, things that people have sent me over the years. Because it reminds me that I did make a difference. Hi, Marcia. You know you're pretty wonderful. Thank you for spending time with me on the phone last week. You made a big difference in my outlook right now as far as my Tupperware career is concerned. I do feel better physically. I'm not throwing up 10 times a day anymore. My mom's not doing so well. I know there are days when you must miss your dad so much, because I have days when I can't imagine not having Mom here. But I have to leave everything in the Lord's hands. God bless you, Marcia. You deserve the best life has to offer, because you're always giving your best to others. Thank you again. I count it a real blessing in my life to call you my friend. Love, Cheryl Smith.
We are directors of our own lives. How you choose the story that you're telling, it's up to you. God gave you a brain, gave you a heart to use it.
If I could impress on every person that out there that you matter, you have such value. There is a spark inside of you. There's a seed of greatness, that has been placed right there inside of you, and it's a gift. At the end of the day, just knowing that in some way I've been able to help somebody make their dreams come true and be able to live the life that is important to them. To me, that's what makes it all worthwhile.